What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I know that we haven't been posting much hunting lately, but with college starting for the both of us, it's been really difficult to pump the videos out. So we've been brainstorming, and we're going to try to show you guys some ways that you can be better hunters in general, whether that be whitetail, hogs, exotics, that sort of thing. We've showed you our bow setups, we've showed you our setups out in the field, from our tripods to our ground blinds, feeders, that sort of thing. But we have a lot of knowledge that we can share with you guys on tips and tricks, things that you can do to better yourself, whether that be scent control, I don't know, what else?
Just, finding the flow and the traffic of the animals, where to set up your blinds in relation to how the wind blows. Certain times of year, wind blows different different directions. Whether being up in the air, down on the ground is better for what you're doing, whether you need a feeder, or hand corn, or, different types of ways just to, make it to where you're there, your presence, your smell, whatever you want to call it, is there just as little as possible so that those animals are comfortable, so you can maximize your, success and everything like that.
We'll start off with hog hunting because that's pretty much what we do most of the time. So with hog hunting, bigger boars, we've learned over the last few years that they will circle a setup whenever they come in. They want to check out everything before they decide to come in and feed. It's similar to coyotes. Coyotes will come in to a set if you're calling, or whether they're hearing something that they want to eat, and they will circle it. They will circle the entire perimeter and figure out and make sure that it is safe before they come in to eat. Whitetail deer don't do it as much. I have noticed some older does that will do it, and bucks, of course, that will circle a setup before they come in. Most of the time, they're not as cautious as hogs and coyotes are, and that's why they're so difficult to hunt.
Until they get in, though.
Yeah.
Once they get there, they're more cautious than pigs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just, pigs, they'll check you out for 30 minutes just walking around, but once they decide it's safe to come in, they think it's safe, and they're just going to come on in. Whitetail, they're not as safe coming in, but once they're in, they're,
they don't
trying to spot you, find you, just...
They don't let their guard down, for sure.
Most pigs do. Especially smaller pigs, they'll just run into a setup.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Once they figure out that there's food on the ground and they're hungry, then that's it. Once they check the perimeter and they feel like they're safe, then they come in and eat. And as long as there's no weird smells or that sort of thing, then they're gonna let their guard down. Whitetail are a lot different. They'll be spooky and skittish the majority of the time when they're in at a feeder, especially if there's been a lot of activity and it's been heavily hunted. So.
And also at the end of this video, we're going to give you guys an update on the bow that was ran over. We're going to
talk. I almost forgot about that.
We're going to talk a little about, how our college schedules, how everything's going to be going, so that y'all can kind of expect when we're going to be getting some videos out and everything. Y'all can kind of understand where we're at this point. Because we love doing this, but obviously, right now college is a huge priority. So, we'll get all to that at the end of the video. So.
But for now,
we'll get into some hog hunting tips and tricks for you guys.
That's what we love to do the most.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
You can do it year round. You can kill as many as you want, however you want, and it helps the environment.
Right.
For all those people saying it doesn't, most definitely does. Just do a little bit of research. Last year in Texas alone, I did a study on it last semester at Tarleton, where I go to college, and last year 2.4 million hogs were killed. And the population grew by 19% in Texas alone. Think of that. That is ridiculous. A hog's gestation period starts when they're 6 months old, and they can have 2 litters they can have 2 litters a year, going up to 24 piglets.
Yeah.
So just do the math.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
There's a percentage. I don't remember what the percentage is, but you have to kill a very, very large number of a sounder to be able to stop their production. It's incredible. Just to break even, just to keep them from overproducing, making progress, you have to kill a certain amount, and that number is astounding. And it's something that hunters, with guns and bows, will never be able to get close to that. And that's why you see thermals, and you see helicopters, and you see trapping, and you see people running dogs, that sort of thing. And it's because it's just a form of population control.
Well, and even at this point, in Texas, I don't know where you guys are from. In Texas, they just legalized poisoning the pigs, which I personally completely disagree with. I think it's a horrible idea. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's just going to hurt everything else. But that's how bad it's gotten for them to think that it is necessary enough to poison these pigs that could potentially poison the rest of the ecosystem.
And hurt the environment.
Yeah.
And we see a ton of comments from you guys about that's torture, this is crap, and
I would say you guys,
some of y'all,
the outsiders,
right.
I would say.
Some of
the people that typically watch us, y'all understand.
Yeah, there's been some comments of some pretty tough words, people being hateful, but like the thing is, and I've left the sentence in the description below, but like I've said 100 times, the only good pig is a dead one, and so when I say that, I'm not saying that because I'm a horrible person or whatever, but when they're causing millions upon millions of dollars worth of damage to crops and land each year, and you can't slow down their production, they're a nuisance. I mean, you can't just let them go. You have to shoot them. And that's why we lined 3 up the other night. And, we got a lot of crap for lining 3 little piglets this size.
But it was a lot of fun, so...
Number one, it was a lot of fun, which we got some hate on it, which, okay, whatever.
We're going to get hate on some stuff.
But
it's okay.
The thing is like, those 3 pigs right there are going to grow up. They're going to be full-size hogs one day. And
in 6 months. I mean, those were probably, I don't know, a couple-week-old piglets. Dude, 6 months... They're ready to start having piglets of their own. And that's what people don't understand. People, I mean, you gotta be old, years, 20 years, whatever, before piglets, 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months. Not even a year old, and they're ready to start having more.
Right. So that's why we lined 3 of them up like that, is because we knew that in 6 months, 8 months to a year, there was going to be 4 times that amount of pigs.
Just from that one piglet.
Yeah, from that one piglet. I mean, they're just going to multiply over and over and over.
I mean, we watched the video. We shot 3. There were still like 8 others there.
Yeah, there were still 8 others plus a big sow for sure.
Yeah.
And there's 2 sounders like that right now running around on the property.
Not just that one feeder.
Yeah.
We have a whole nother sounder at our other feeder.
Yeah, there's another sounder. There's for sure 2. We had 3, and
we've seen as many as 5 at once.
Yeah, 5 sounders, and that's you're looking at what?
That's over 100 pigs right there.
And you're looking at that on 150 acres, right?
Yeah, 150 acres and over 100 pigs.
And so they're doing an insane amount of damage, and his grandpa runs cattle on the property, and you got to do something about it. I mean, they're harmful to the environment. They're a nuisance, and you'll hear me say that 100 times, but they are.
And if they weren't, and if you don't want to believe anything we say, you don't want to do any research, just listen to this one statement. If that they were endangered, or not even endangered, if that their populations weren't so high, if they were good for the environment, if they were all this stuff, then the state of Texas would not let us hunt them. Not even just state of Texas, the country would not let you hunt them at any time, any method.
Right.
I mean,
that's the
deer are good for the ecosystem. You need deer. They were here. I mean, I believe that they're not...
They're native.
Yeah, they're native. They're not just taking over. They're not doing anything. And you can hunt them.
But there's seasons.
Certain months of the year.
Yeah.
And I mean, was it 4 months? 3, 4 months? Whatever it is.
Something like that.
So, obviously they don't want all of them dead. So that's why you can only hunt them with restrictions. Pigs, it's
free game.
Open season.
Yeah,
just kill them.
All you want, and it's because they produce like freaking rabbits. I mean, they're everywhere. And so,
and just think, they root around, and if they tear up crops. You can understand. You hear us say that they harm livestock. Well, we say that it's because they root around and they create holes, and then cows, horses, any bigger livestock that can be ran, even sheep and goat, I've heard stories of. They step in those holes that those pigs make, and they snap a leg, and then there goes
all this money. There goes all this money that you spent on feed to raise your livestock, and potentially like this animal that you were going to take to the sale barn to sell, to make money, to support your family, and a pig ruined it for you. You lost out on $800 to $1,000, and sometimes for full-grown cows, you're losing up to $2,000, $2,000 for a cow. Whenever you could have taken it to the sale barn and and sold it and to support your family. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we hunt the hogs the way we do, with any form, any method that we can get our hands on. And we do it all just about. And it's an important part of being a hunter, is doing your part and conserving. And shooting hogs is a great way to help the ecosystem, help the environment, so that way your whitetail herds will be better, your livestock will be taken care of, they won't interfere. And hogs, again, are a nuisance. They cause millions upon millions of dollars worth of damage to crops every year, and you just can't have that when you're a farmer trying to make a living.
So now that we've talked about why to kill them, now we're talking about how.
Yeah.
So personally, he loves being up in the air. I like it. I'm afraid of heights, so it kind of freaks me out. But I like being up in the air. But he likes those tree stands, those ladder stands that y'all saw that we shot those 3 pigs out of. Me personally, I'm a fan of, we built a platform and we stuck a pop-up blind on it. Personally, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, has not been successful yet. Have not shot a single thing out of it yet.
But we've only hunted out of it a couple
times. We've seen pigs out of it every time.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they're just super spooky. They're super spooked when they come in. And that may be because, we have our setups set up to where it is perfect for us to hunt a south wind.
Right.
And the reason being is that it's the most common wind we get, as well as it's the easiest way for us to get to our stands that way. Right. A lot of people, they'll just go out there and stick stuff up and they'll be like, hey, why am I not seeing anything? Well, you can use scent killer all you want, but the wind's gonna win.
Yeah, and whenever we first started hunting, like bow hunting together, it was, what would you say, like 3 or 4 years ago? Maybe even longer than that. But we thought that washing your clothes, in scent-free soap, and taking a shower in scent-free soap, and
we spent so much money on scent killers.
Yeah, and spraying yourself down, and taking care of your clothes, putting them in tubs with an ozone generator, and like trying to do all these different things to execute your smell and execute your scent.
So far.
And we were busted. Like our success rate was just the same, and whether we did it or we didn't do it. And so now we've gotten to the point to where, like, we'll wash our clothes with regular detergent, throw it on, and as long as you're hunting the right wind and there's animals that aren't going to come from behind you, from downwind, then you're gonna be successful.
And that kind of plays into the whole, you got to know where your animals are coming from.
Right. And that's why you use trail cameras. I mean, you use those things to figure out the direction that they're coming from and study them. We do that a lot with deer and also with hogs because, it's easier to do with hogs because there's so many of them. But
and a lot of people put them just watching the feeder.
Yeah.
You can always, I think we've done it a few times where, we've watched the feeder a little bit, we know they're coming, but we don't know where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. So, it's still at the feeder, but we'll angle it in different directions to see where they're going to walk in at. And that's always a great idea you guys can do.
Yeah, it's easy to pay attention to the trails, like well-worn trails that are coming into your feeders, and set your camera up according to that so you can make 100% sure that they're coming, down this trail. And another thing you can pay attention to is if you have access to more than one camera, is you set another camera up on a different trail to see if they're coming in one way and leaving another, or if they're coming in this trail and leaving on the same trail. And, once you figure that out, then you know where you can set your stand up. And as long as the wind is going to be back in your face, or you only hunt it when the wind is right, you're going to be successful.
But that's why, and I understand. I know I don't like hunting up in the air, but that's because I'm scared of it. But hunting up in the air, if the wind is swirling, that's going to be your best bet, because you got to think, if you're 14 feet up, that's kind of low, but, down here we don't have super tall trees, kind of hard to find a spot. But if you're 14 feet up, and the wind's blowing, no matter where it's blowing, you got to think how far out it's going to be before it finally reaches ground level.
Fall, right.
And how much it's, spread out through the air and all that stuff, and how powerful that smell is really going to be.
Yeah.
So, we bow hunt. So our setups, I think, are set at like 17 and then 20 yards.
Yeah, somewhere
like
range,
that, give or take a few. But pretty much if we're up in the air, our scent's going to be gone before... it's going to be up too high before it gets to those feeders. So that's why, we try to stay up in the air. You can do it in the ground. You can hunt on the ground very successfully.
Yeah.
But just, up in the air, it's just, if you can do it, honestly, it's better in our opinion.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm more successful hunting in the air.
And I understand it's better, but I just don't like it.
And you have, like, let's jump off to story time real quick. Like, you have a very, very valid reason for not liking to hunt in the air, because when was that when you fell out of that stand?
Dude, it was like 3 years ago.
Okay, so 3 years ago, he's crawling up his tripod, it's sitting at one of our feeders, and what was it, wasps?
Yeah, okay, so like, the seats, and then how there's the cushion on them. Well, the cushion folded over, and so I'm climbing up there. I had my 243 at this point, because I was just learning how to bow hunt. So I'm crawling up it, and it's like a 16-foot.
It's 12 foot.
12 foot?
Yeah, 12 foot tripod.
Felt a lot higher. It was a 12-foot tripod, and I'm crawling up there, and I'm on the top step, and I pick it up, and there's a wasp nest. And they were not happy whenever I opened that up. And they came flying at my face. I got stung like twice, and I fell backwards and straight up just landed on my back and my head. And ever since then, I do not like hunting up in the air.
I guess we could also talk about shot placement.
Oh, yeah. So, like, hogs' hearts, where you typically think, like, a deer's is, that kind of stuff. Hogs' hearts are actually lower.
Yeah,
than what
they're set
think.
further forward in their chest cavity. So I'll drop a picture. Like, I'll show you it's like an anatomical picture. Is that what you call it?
I believe so.
Or something like that. And I'll drop it in right now, so you guys can see it, and you'll understand that their heart's set like right in between their front shoulder blades, really low, closer to their front of their chest. And with deer, they set kind of low, but they're further back. And with hogs, you have to. Sometimes with the bigger boars, you have to wait until they turn.
Yeah, because don't forget, those bigger boars, they have armored plates right there. And, I mean, I'm telling you...
Right over their shoulders and all the way up, like, around their neck.
You stick an arrow in that, it's just doing it.
Yeah, because we've straight up done it, and we've seen lots of people do it, too, is where you think that you're making a perfect heart shot or a double lung, and you hit a big boar right in that shield, and it's, this thick of hardened fat and armor, and it just pokes him. It's going
to hit him in that shield, and it's not going to hit anything that's going to kill him, and it's going to really make you mad.
That's why a few months ago, whenever I shot that big boar, he wouldn't turn recording away for me, and the only shot I had was face on, and I knew that if I were to put it right above his forehead and his neck, that it was going to go into his lungs, and that's exactly what it did. But it's always, the best thing you can do is wait till they're quartering away and tuck it right behind their shoulder, as low as you can get it. Just like that one, the video Hogs Are Tough. Like, I shot that dude really low, and I thought it was going to be too low. We found him like a couple of days later, and he didn't run but like 65 or 70 yards. It was a perfect heart shot after we ended up finding him.
And that's just a testimony to how tough hogs are.
Exactly. And we literally, like the night we went and looked for him, we walked right past that big hog.
Because we're done.
Yeah, we didn't see him. It was at night, When we came back a couple of days later, and we were smelling something dead, and we're like, that's got to be the hog that I shot a couple of nights ago. And so we started wandering around, taking the same trails that we had taken a couple of nights before, and boom, like he was right there to our right, laying on the ground. And so I hit him perfect. It was right in the heart. And as the lower you can get it tucked up into that pocket, the better off you're going to be, and you will be successful that way.
Yeah.
We've shot big hogs before, and they have that plate on them. And we may have some pictures. If we do, I'll drop some in. But if we don't, I'll just tell you, like, you can see it. And the last one of the big ones that we shot back in December, we shot at the same time with our rifles. We weren't able to film that one, but we both shot it at the same time right through the plate, but we were shooting our 308, so it dropped right there. But
yeah, we both hit him in the heart.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a quarter inch away from each other.
Yeah, the bullet holes were like a thumbnail apart from each other, which was freaking cool. But anyway, the point is whenever he was laying over on his side, you could see his back legs, and obviously his skin all the way across, but then we got up to his front shoulders, and it did this number right here. And that was his shield. I mean, it just up, and then there's his armor, and then back down to his head, to his neck. And I took a stick, and I was popping it, hitting it. And it sounded just like taking a stick to a concrete slab, and just hitting it, like that noise. And that's how thick it is. That's how tough it is. And it's incredible to see that. Like, I don't know. And we've cut into them before, and you'll find some thinner, and then you'll find some really, really thick where they stick up high off their shoulder. And you think, like, there's absolutely no way you're going to get an arrow through that thing.
Yeah, and I've heard people be like, oh, well, I can just pump up the poundage in my bow, make it shoot faster, get heavier arrows and all that kind of stuff. We shoot 310 feet per second with our bows, and That's fast. You know, we can't penetrate it. You know, we use good arrows.
Yeah.
We use gold. Each one of our arrows, like you'll see, all of our arrows that we shoot. Typically, that arrow will run us about $40-$50 with everything on it.
Yeah, with the broadhead, the nocturnal,
and then the arrow itself. You know, we're shooting expensive setups.
And that's why it's important I would be perfectly fine if I broke an arrow on a hog every time I shot one, because, I mean, that's hunting. That's what you buy it for.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will tell you all the time, and I see it online in articles all the time, and people are like, go buy cheap arrows from Ace Hardware, from Walmart, and use those as your hog arrows or whatever. I'm like, no, because I want to find them. I want to find the animals that I shoot. I don't want to just shoot them so they run off and die somewhere and I never find them. Like, we eat them. I mean, we really do. And sometimes we don't show that process, but we'll start to do a better job of that.
We'll do some
bring you guys along.
Shooting, cleaning, eats.
How we do it, how we prepare it in the kitchen and that sort of thing. But, like, we really do. Like, feral hog is some of the best eating that you can ever eat. Like, try. It's nothing compared to what you can buy in a store. I mean,
just don't eat. I mean, we don't eat the bigger.
Don't
eat.
Don't eat anything bigger than about 175 for boars. Now, anything less than that, and then sows. Like, I've seen people eat 250-pound sows, and then of course anything less than that.
Piglets taste the best.
Yeah.
Let me be honest with you. If you can get over the thought of eating a baby pig, which doesn't bother me in the slightest bit, but I know some people, like, I have a few friends that won't eat veal just because it's a baby cow.
Yeah.
I mean, they think they've had it before and they think it tastes good. But if you can get over the thought of it, piglet's some of the best eating you'll ever.
Smoking it whole.
Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing. But yeah, that plate at all costs, just avoid shooting into their armored shield for the bigger boars. I always try to tuck it in that shoulder, and you'll be successful. And I feel like it, and I think we've done it before. One of us has, but we've shot through a shield before, even after it was dead. Like, rolled it up on its side, and I think it was you.
It was me.
It was him.
I got curious.
Shot through the armor, and the arrow. I mean, you were like 10 yards.
Yeah, about 10.
10 or 15 yards, and just drew back and shot it right in the shoulder. I mean, I remember that. That's been a couple of years ago now, but you got 3 to 4, maybe 5 inches of penetration.
I didn't get enough penetration to where if I had shot that pig like that, he would have just looked at me, laughed at me, and ran off.
I mean, it didn't hit anything vital because we opened that one up. It didn't go into the vitals, didn't hit the heart, the lungs, nothing. And basically what that hog's going to do is he's going to clip a tree, or he's going to hit something that's going to break that arrow off, and then
that fat's going to close up.
Yeah, everything will close up around it, and it'll just be lodged in his shoulder.
And that's another thing, you know, you shoot a pig, especially a bigger, fatter one, there's a good chance you're not going to find much of a blood trail.
Yeah,
simply because that fat, yes, you might have hit the heart. You know, that heart might be shredded, but it's going to be a lot of internal bleeding because that fat's going to close up, and it's not going to let that blood escape.
Yeah.
So after you shoot, we don't do this a lot because we get excited. Listen.
Yeah.
Try and hear where this hog is going to go. Try and hear if you can hear him crash. If you don't crash, which direction he ran. If he hit any branches. All that can help you in the tracking process, because a lot of times they might be blood at first, but then it's really going to close up, and then you're going to just see how good of a tracker you truly are.
Because, I mean, we've hoof tracked animals before where you just look in the dirt or in the sand and you follow prints because of the blood trail is dried up. And
I mean, that's what
they
happened.
quit bleeding. And that's why it's so difficult to hunt hogs in the wintertime, is because they're so fatty. They put so much fat on in the wintertime, and you shoot them and you don't put the shot exactly where it needs to be, and it closes up. Well, then, you know, you're screwed. So then that's why as soon as we shoot, you know, we get excited. But, you know, who doesn't? But, you know, you're sitting there and you listen. You just listen. You watch it run off as far as you can. And if you see it crash in sight, that's great. But also, if it goes through the brush and you lose sight of it, then you just listen. Because a lot of the times, we hear our animals crash, and then we know to give ourselves probably another 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and then
you know,
and
someone asked why we did that. I mean, they were a little, you know, someone asked why we did that. And the thing is, the first pig I ever shot with a bow, I was pumped, I was excited. 10 minutes I got down out of the stand, and I found my arrow in a pool of blood about this big. That pig had laid down to die, but he hadn't died yet. I walk up on him, and first off, he could have come at me. You know, he's a little grumpy from being shot. He could have come at me, but he didn't. Instead, he ran, and he ran, and he ran, and he ran, and we never found him because they get that boost of adrenaline and they're gone.
Yeah.
So you wait. First off, we wanted to see if more pigs would come in because those little ones, they don't really care about blood. Like we said, they're stupid. But also, we just don't want to bump a pig.
Right.
First off, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to be charged, first of all. And I mean,
we've had it happen, and it sucks.
And there's been occasions where we've been sitting in the stand and shot something and been very, very quiet, and not 5 minutes later, here comes something else for you to shoot. I'll bring it back to the hog hunting one more time. Whenever you're coming to your setups, just figure out the trails that they're using.
Stay away from those trails.
Stay away from those trails. Figure out a different way to come into your stand. Make sure you're hunting the right wind.
Park far away.
Park far away, yeah. If you're driving to your stand or your setup or whatever, scent control, use it. If you're confident in it, use it.
It won't hurt.
It can't hurt.
The only thing, we're not saying that it's gonna hurt or it's gonna, minimize your chances. Yeah, it'll help. But we personally don't think, we haven't found one that's worth the money.
Yeah, we quit using it altogether. I mean, it's just
not worth it to us.
You hunt the wind, you hunt the right wind, you're going to be okay.
At least that's how it is with our setups.
Yeah.
With y'all's setups, y'all might like it, y'all might need it. Yeah. That's okay. It's just not for us.
Whatever you're confident in, whatever makes you successful. But, like I said, in the very beginning of the video, pigs and coyotes, whenever you're calling or you're sitting on a stand, especially big boards, are going to circle the setup. So be mindful of that and set up accordingly. With the location or the stand that we call the honey hole, it's set up really in a really good spot, and our feeder is at the end of this long line of brush, and our ladder stand is in it.
That reminds me of something
on the end. But the hogs come in from up in front of us. They come off this hill, off the neighbor's property, through the fence.
With the wind that's blowing back.
Yeah, exactly. And then they come down. Well, the way our setup is these hogs, they think that they're surrounding the entire feeder, when in reality they're coming down, and whenever they circle in front to come, to circle the feeder, they're coming right in front of our ladder stand, and we're watching us, and we're watching them, and they never once get behind us to smell us, and it's because of the way the setup is.
And also with our setup, you want trees behind you.
Yeah.
That way you won't get what we call skyline, where they'll see you up against the skyline. If there's no trees behind you, they just see you, if they look up there. But, if you have trees behind you, you just look like you're a part of the trees.
Right.
Because obviously you don't want them in your shooting lane. But if you can have trees in front of your face, in front of you where it won't mess up your shooting lane, then they look up and then they'll see those branches, and then it'll obscure you.
Right.
And you'll just be so much more hidden.
Yeah, because I've said that before in a previous video a while back, keep stuff in front of you, because that way whenever you're moving around, you're drawing your bow or whatnot, you look like you're part of the tree. You just look like you're another limb. Now, you don't want it to be in your shooting lane, like he said, but you want it there. You want it to help cover you up.
It's one of those things you want to push as much as you can.
Yeah, and whenever you're creating your setups, and you go out there with a set of loppers or with a pole saw or whatever it is that you use to clear your setups out, leave as much brush as you can. And a good way to do that is, set your stand up where you want it, where you think is a good spot, with the wind blowing, blah, blah, everything's all right. You put your stand where you want it, and then you crawl up there before you cut anything, if that's possible. And you look, and you say, okay, I can get rid of this limb, and I can get rid of this one, and then I can leave all the rest because those will help cover me up. And we have to do that a lot. Sometimes whenever you get too carried away, well then you're kind of screwed.
And sometimes we'll even take a bag target down there, and we'll climb up there and, we'll see if we can shoot the bag target. We'll put it at various spots under the feeder where we think the hogs will be.
We take a little Reinhardt ball, and it's just a little target. You can throw it out there and shoot it. I mean, it's always good to practice those kinds of things. I completely forgot that we do that too. But, take a bag target, take some sort of target down to your setup, and whenever you get your stand set up and you get your stuff cleared, you get your lanes trimmed or whatever, then you sit and you shoot down those lanes and you become comfortable, and that'll make you a more successful hunter, because if you don't practice it at home in a similar situation, then whenever you get out there to hunt, how are you going to know what to do? How are you going to be prepared for that mentally? And how are you going to be able to make a good shot and have the confidence in yourself if you've never made that shot before? So it's a good thing to do, and you don't have to do it all the time. Maybe whenever you set it up, and once every couple of months, just take your target out there in the middle of the day when you're not bothering anything, set your target up, whether it be your little Reinhardt ball or a bag target, whatever, and take a few shots and just build your confidence up, and you'll be more successful that way.
Research your spot. Do not go out and just throw it out. Throw up a spot and hope it works, because probably won't.
Put some time and effort into it, some thought, and you'll be more successful. You'll be happier that way.
But I think we need to, move on to the bow update and.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Forgot about that.
All right, so I've been in contact with the sheriff deputy, and he's been a super great guy about it. He's been super nice. He's been, he's been cooperating with me. I wish I was rich enough to where I didn't have to, help me pay for a new one. I understand that y'all, yes, he ran over the boat. No, he didn't do it on purpose, which I know doesn't excuse everything, but he was a nice guy, so, I just wish I was rich enough to where I could, oh, don't worry about it, dude, I'll just go buy another one. But him and I have been in contact for about a little over a week now. I took the bow to a few people, and the bow is no longer shootable. I talked to him about it, and we have agreed on an amount that we both feel is fair. I'm not going to disclose that amount to you guys just because I feel like that's something that needs to stay between me and him.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It could be $5, and if that's something we agree on, that's what we agree on. But it's taken care of. I'm gonna have a new bow coming in soon. It's worked out great. He's a good guy.
Stand-up guy. Yeah.
So with the bow, it sucks he got ran over, but I feel like it got handled in the best way possible. And they were both super nice guys about it, so it worked out it was the best of a bad situation in my personal opinion.
But I'm glad it all worked out, and hopefully we can get back to bow fishing here pretty quick.
With college,
I have classes Monday through Thursday, and I'm free on the weekends. So I don't know about your schedule. We haven't really talked about it yet. So
right now, I've got classes, my big days are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I just got a job because, for obvious reasons, college is expensive, and, so is living. So I just got a job, so my plate's pretty full right now, but weekends I'm pretty much free. So, we expect a video most weekends, hopefully we can get it out to you. We've experienced tremendous growth, and it's been amazing, and we want that to keep coming. One day we want this to be what we do for a living, because we love it so much. We love everything we do about it. But as of right now, it's just not something that we can drop out of college for.
We're gonna do our best. Let's just put it that way. We may miss some weeks here and there, but we're gonna do our absolute best to put some stuff out. And another thing I wanted to say is I'm kind of running out of ideas on things that we can do. So you guys can drop a comment and let us know some videos that you'd like to see. Whether that be going over the gear or you'd like to hear our knowledge and our experience on some other animals or how we hunt other animals, that sort of thing. Just leave a comment. Leave some.
Or if you want to see predator hunting, just calling, how we call.
Yeah. Other than that,
I
hope you guys enjoyed this video.
It's our first, kind of podcast type thing. We wanted to see. We've been thinking about doing it for a while, but we finally, we haven't been able to get a video out lately because it's the first week before school starts.
Yeah, it's been super busy with transition week and all that. But link below will be our Instagram. You can check us out at 4B Bow Hunting and Outdoors. Subscribe, share these videos, leave a thumbs up, do all that, guys. Just go to Instagram and share our videos on Instagram. All of that.
Helping us, in turn, helps us make better things for you guys.
Bring more footage to you guys. The amount of growth has been absolutely insane. It was like we've had the channel for close to 2 years now, and it took us that entire time to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then 3 weeks later we're sitting at 2,000. So the growth has been absolutely unreal, and we appreciate it. We love every single one of you guys. Keep sharing, keep liking our videos, bring on the thumbs up, drop the comments, let us know. We love talking to you guys. So.
Oh, and if y'all have any questions, I don't know, for me personally about, anything that, if y'all just want to know more about me or whatever, I'm not saying y'all do, but if y'all do, drop a comment and, I'll answer. I don't care. I'm here to be open with you guys. So if y'all want to know anything about me, almost anything about me, just ask. And if I feel like it's, good to share it, I'll share it. I don't care. I'm trying to be open with you guys. We're trying to create a relationship. So if there's anything y'all want to know, just, ask.
hit that subscribe button for us, please.
It really helps us out.
Yeah, we'll keep bringing you guys some awesome content. Apologize for the
kind of
transition and the slow time of the videos, but we're going to be working on it.
I'm sure most of you have understood. Either y'all have had people, or family in college, or you've gone to college, or just a job. I mean, and if y'all work, then y'all understand. College is kind of a job.
Yeah.
So.
But we appreciate all the support. We love every one of you guys, and we will catch you on the next video.